Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Grapevine. My name is Susan Israel.
Susan Salib. Yvette Iskander.
And today we have a very special guest. I'd like to introduce Mr. Neder Anis. Thank you, Neder, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
And just a little bit about Neder. He currently is an attorney, and he is the co-founder of Global Coptic Day, which we will be talking about today, and which has been celebrated by Copts and non-Copts all over the world. He is also the founder of the Coptic American Chamber of Commerce, which connects Coptic-owned businesses and helps them grow. So today our episode is about Global Coptic Day, and we are very excited to have the co-founder here, Mr. Neder Anis. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you for
It's
coming.
really my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're so welcome. So Neder, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and we want to get to know you a little bit. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, sure. You mentioned that I'm an attorney,
Yes.
and I've been practicing since the late 90s. I'm not going to say exactly when, because that gives my age away. And but my passion really is to find ways to have the Coptic community come together.
Okay.
And so while I've been practicing, I've been finding ways to celebrate Copts and have them come together. And that's really what I've been doing through Global Coptic Day and the Coptic Chamber.
Fantastic.
Very interesting. So it sounds like you're very busy.
Yeah.
Something
A lot
like
of different
that.
things. So
Yeah.
how did you get the idea for Global Coptic Day?
Actually, there are two sources, and I really haven't spoken about this too much. But the first one was from His Holiness Pope Tewodros himself, when I had listened to an interview that he did, and he said that social media, he was lamenting that social media was really a big waste of time for a lot of people, and just, wasting their lives. And it just stuck with me. And then within a month or two, I heard His Eminence Metropolitan Serapion say, he was talking about the Copts and that there really is not a strong presence for us here, and that we don't have much influence on culture and the media. So I kind of put both concepts together, and it just happened, honestly. I didn't even do it. I feel like it was put in my head. And I thought, well, maybe there's a way that we can integrate social media with giving the Copts a dominant presence in the media or in culture somehow. And so I actually had gotten the idea, I had created a day just for lawyers years ago.
Oh, nice.
Which went viral and blew up. It was actually quite a big thing. And so I used the experience that I had from that, and I said, well, we have to apply this to the Coptic Church. And so that's really the genesis of the idea.
Wow, so you had experience with creating an official day before, which is interesting. I wouldn't know where to begin. So
Yeah,
it's
well,
interesting,
neither did
right?
I. But, by the grace of God, it just kind of took off and had its own life. And I really learned a lot throughout the process.
That's
When did it
fantastic.
officially get started, roughly?
Well, Global Coptic Day, I had presented it to His Grace Bishop Yusuf on October 20, 2018. And it was a phone call. I still remember this very vividly. And it lasted exactly half an hour. And at the end of the call, His Grace said to me, well, we're going to do this. Even if no one else is going to do it, we are going to do this. Can you come to Egypt and present the idea to the bishops of the synod?
That is amazing.
And this was October 20th. And to the day, 1 month later, I was in the monastery of Embebshoy presenting it to the bishops, a portion of the bishops of the synod, and presented them the entire concept. And that's really, how it started. There's more to that story.
Yeah,
Can you tell
us.
us
Oh, you
more?
want more?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you more. Okay. The juicy details.
Yes, the juicy details.
Okay, so I went and I presented the idea. I actually had binders for the bishops. I had everything done for them. And I presented the idea. They were largely bishops of the diaspora. And they were so loving and patient and listening to me as I went on and on and on. And they had questions. They were very engaged. They were very interested. But thank God, unanimously, they loved it. They loved the idea. They said, well, whatever we can do to help you, we want to help. And so I felt really good knowing that I had the blessing of these bishops. And so we were wrapping up, and I was started to walk out, and His Grace Emba Peter said to me, hold up, don't leave yet. Let's walk together to the monastery. But I have a quick meeting. So if you don't mind, just sit in the lobby area and wait for me. And when I'm done, we can walk back to the monastery together. I said, sure, that's a great idea. Now, up to this point, I had presented to Emba Yusuf, who loved it. I was thrilled. I had presented to this group of bishops who loved it, and I was thrilled. But I thought, it would be nice for His Holiness the Pope to hear. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to get greedy. I'm thrilled by what I've gotten so far. So I'm sitting, waiting for Emba Peter, when suddenly the door opens about 10 feet away, and His Holiness comes out of his office. Of course, he has, bishops and priests around him, and everyone's, it's a big event. Yeah. And he was walking out, going, I guess, to a meeting or something. I swallowed really hard, and I said, this is the chance. Yeah. This is the opportunity. Yeah. I may never get this chance again. And so I got up, and I walked towards him, and I said, Your Holiness, I had actually met him just a month prior, because he was in Tampa celebrating the silver anniversary of the southern U.S. Establishing the diocese. So he was there, and I had spoken, and we had spoken very briefly. So I was hoping he would remember me, which he did. And in fact, he reminded me, he said, yes, Tampa, and you spoke about such and such. So I said, oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's like,
he knows.
He knows, he remembered. Yeah. So I said, okay, this is a good opening for me. So I showed him the binder. I showed him the logo. I told him the idea. I told him what we're trying to accomplish. I said that I had just presented to the bishops. And I spoke with him for about 10 minutes, maybe a little longer. The whole time he was engaged, he was interested, he was asking me questions. And so I said, I didn't want to say, so do I have your blessing? I certainly didn't want to know, So I said, and that's it, yes, Sayyidina. He said, in Arabic, he said, great, this is a great idea, keep doing what you're doing. I said, okay. This was the blessing, really, that I think as of that moment, that's when Global Coptic Day really started. And this was November 20, 2018. Wow. And so, and then Emba Yusuf, a few minutes later, was walking by. I said, guess what? And I told him what happened. And of course, he was very happy about that. And getting all these blessings was really something that I didn't expect. But because God had opened the door so many times for this, and I'll tell you in a little bit. I'll tell you more about how the door just kept being opened and opened and opened. That I knew God really had a plan for this, and it was really a wonderful time.
Wow, what a blessing.
I love
Yeah.
this story.
It's
I've heard it
amazing.
before, but I
It's a
needed to
great
hear it
story.
again
I'll tell it
today.
to you again later,
Yes, please.
just because you love that story
Yeah,
so
I
much.
do.
Yeah.
Just like, what are the chances?
What are the
You know,
chances?
it's
And
amazing.
Peter telling me,
Yes.
oh, wait for me. And he, by the way, Peter, I love you. But he said to me, sit here. I have a meeting for about 2 hours. I'll be back. That's what he said. I said, okay, sure, no problem.
It seems like God has planted the seed and you just took it. And it's so wonderful. It's such a blessing that you were able to be ready to hear his word and plant it and let it grow.
It's his love, honestly. I really, it could have been me or anyone else. God just wanted this to proceed and go forward, and I just happened to get that blessing.
So as it's proceeding and legally and all the work and all the process, I know it's such a good thing to hear positive stories, but tell us also about the obstacles and how you overcome it and any challenges that you have faced.
You know, I don't know if I can, in good conscience, call it obstacles, because honestly, there weren't obstacles. I might call them steps. There were steps that we had to go through to get where we are in 2019, which is when it was first established, the first celebration, 2020 and 2021. So the steps, I would say, you know, the first step was to put it together as a concept, as an idea. What are the goals? Why are we doing this? Who's going to benefit? And I knew I better be prepared when I presented this to Mba Yusuf. That was step number one. What's Mba Yusuf going to do with it? So I was prepared, and I had a handout, and I had the presentation ready. He liked it. The next step, he was basically, it was a baton transferring me to now the bishops of the synod.
Yes.
That was the next step. Hopefully they'll like the idea. And so we sat down in a big hall, in a big circle, and they all had the handout, and they were following and asking questions, and you know, they liked it. They approved it. So thank God. Step two. Step three, which I didn't expect, but it's such a bonus and a blessing, is His Holiness Pope Tewodros blessing it. And so he liked the idea. And so it was, and then by the way, there's another little piece to it. His Grace Bishop Yusuf and I ended up meeting Pope Tewodros just very briefly a few days later at the ordination of His Grace Bishop Basil and Bishop Gregory in St. Mark's Cathedral. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we watched that.
Yeah, so, it was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I had contacted an iconographer. Talk about God just opening the door and making things easy. Before I left, I said to this iconographer, we want an icon of the Holy Family going into Egypt, their entry into Egypt. And he said, like a month or two or I'm like, no, in a
tomorrow.
week. I'll be there in a week. You know, and I got the idea right before I left. Of course, I didn't think of this like weeks earlier. He said, in a week?
Wow.
He said, I have this, I have this, I have that. But I have to say, he's Osama Maurice in Egypt, who did an incredible job. I got the icon from him, and I said to Mba Yusuf, Sayyidina, I have an icon. Maybe we can present it to His Holiness as a way of kind of sealing the deal of
Nice.
the global Coptic.
excited.
And just showing him,
The
you know,
visual.
thanking him
Yeah.
and the visual. So after the ordination, and I said, oh, well, I guess we didn't, you know, I didn't get a chance to give it to His Holiness. I had the icon kind of in a corner. I said, oh, didn't get a chance to give it to him. So I was walking away, Mba Yusuf grabs me. Come with me quickly. I'm telling you, like God was doing
That's so
everything.
Amazing.
Let's go, His Holiness Israel, let's go. So we approached him and we spoke for, you know, a few seconds, really, it wasn't very long, but he said, we'd like to present you the icon for Global Coptic Day, and he said, you know, he blessed it, put the cross on it, and then we took a picture. The three of us together with the icon, which is what you all see all the time floating around social media. That's the picture that really kind of sealed it. And it was really, again, God opening the door, just one thing at after the other.
Wow, that's another
Yeah.
beautiful. I've seen the picture,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that icon was painted or done a week prior to you present.
Oh, it was just done.
What a special icon.
It was just done, and honestly, this iconographer, again, I just want to stress, it wasn't just a regular icon. Maybe you can't see it because it's not in real life, but what he did was, and on the gold, the gilding, he did little dots, like for the halos,
Wow.
and it was textured. So it was little dots around like it wasn't just a regular icon that you see all the time.
Right.
That's why I'm saying it was very special. And even His Holiness, when he saw it, he looked at it, he said, "Oh, you don't have this kind of work in America, do you?" So he made that comment, and he liked it as well.
Yeah,
That's
that's amazing.
The timeline is like just
That's-
amazing. Like that could only be God's will in
Oh,
His
yeah.
hand. Like October, you said 18 to November.
October 20,
20th?
November 20. Well,
Wow.
a month. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was all done in that month. And oh, by the way, my passport was not renewed. So, so there was that fun of getting the passport and
Just
renewing.
another step.
Oh yeah, but listen,
Did it rush
Wow.
you?
God's behind this, so
Yeah.
I wasn't worried. It was gonna happen, and it did. And it's just, I'm telling you, just one thing after the
Yeah.
other.
Amazing.
So in continuing talking about the steps, so
Yeah.
after you went to Egypt and you got the holy, the Holy Synod and Pope
Yes.
Tewodros
Yes.
on board. So then when you came back to the States, or was there other things that had happened in Egypt, or when you came back to the States, what tell us the remainder of these steps. This is a intriguing story.
It was, again, God's hand was so apparent. In Egypt, I mean, I think that's plenty to happen
Yeah,
in
that's
Egypt
a lot.
in that
Yeah.
short. I was only there for about, I think it was 8 or 9 days. So
Okay.
it wasn't a long time at all. And so I had met with some bishops and let them know what I was doing. I had met with some priests, some of the monasteries, and they all liked the idea, separate from my meeting at the Synod. So there wasn't really much more happening in Egypt regarding Global Coptic Day. It's really what we were trying to accomplish once I came back, because once I came back, it was essentially the end of November, and Global Coptic Day was going to be June 1st.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Like, we got the approval. What do we do?
next? Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
And you want me to get into
Yes,
that?
absolutely.
Okay. I have a captive
Well,
audience. I
yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
We can't
curious.
wait.
I'm
I
curious,
know.
like
Long
from.
wait.
So you have all the stamps of
We
approval.
have all
the stamps
of
within
approval.
a month, basically.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
your timeline is short to then figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
on
That
that
was
day.
the issue.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
how do we handle it? What do we do? Honestly, I said, let's swing for the fences. Let's swing. What's the biggest thing we can do that will create the biggest buzz and get the Copts the most excited? That was, okay, let's try and get the president's seal on this. Let's get him to maybe have a decree or say something about Global Coptic Day. Was it a dream? Absolutely. Was it kind of a crazy dream? Yes. But we said, let's try it. What's going to happen?
I love it.
Can't hurt, right?
Dream big. You have
Swing
to
for the
have
fences.
start,
Right.
yeah.
You don't know till you try.
That's exactly it.
And so, I've mentioned his name numerous times, but I need to do it again because he was our contact to the White House. And his name is George Suriel, someone who I grew up with in New Jersey, who was very high up, with the Trump administration and worked tirelessly. And so I'm like, George, here's the situation. He's like, what? What do you want me to do? Okay, but no, I think we could do it. Really, George? Yeah, I think we could do it. So we applied. There's an application process, but obviously his involvement meant a great deal. So George helped the process along the way, and we applied. We gave the reasons why we think it should be celebrated, what kind of things should be said, and it took a few months. And to our shock, to our surprise, George says, "I think you're going to be pretty happy." So I said,
Oh my gosh.
"Why? What happened? What's going?" I honestly didn't think he was talking about Global Coptic Day, because we talk a lot and other things,
You're
other
right.
business issues. He says, "We're going to get a draft of the letter.
Wow.
We're going to get it by email."
Oh my goodness.
And so that was, I can't tell you the excitement of having our President of the United States acknowledge Global Coptic Day for the first time ever, and it was being celebrated for the first time ever. Usually they'll say, well, let's see how it goes the first year or 2 or 5
Sure,
before I put my signature on this. And we got it, and it was like a feast day. When he sent the email, and then we shot it out on social media, and probably one of the most viral Coptic posts to come out.
Wow.
That first President Trump letter. Now, he ended up doing it the year after as well,
so
which
cool.
again, was amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the excitement of the first time, you'll never replace that. But we loved getting, the president's approval on this. And I have to say, I do have to mention this, that His Grace Mbe Yusuf was involved in every single step. He was aware, he was asking, he was inquisitive, he gave suggestions. This day never would have happened but for Mbe Yusuf. And his vision and his dedication,
Support.
everything,
Yeah.
support in every way. This day would not have been what it is. And his just listening and wanting to help and having suggestions. So Mbe Yusuf really made this day happen.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Mbe Yusuf is amazing.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's great that you partnered with His Grace to get this day going and make it a success. So that's awesome. You picked the right person.
Well,
For sure.
God picked him.
Yes.
God picked him, honestly, and it's a blessing for me.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Through the grace of God, in 2019, we started celebrating the Global Coptic Day. And we chose June 1st, which is the feast of the entry of our Lord Jesus Christ to Egypt, to be the day in which we celebrate the Global Coptic Day. And the idea behind the Global Coptic Day is to remind the whole world with the contribution of the Coptic Orthodox Church to the whole world. The Coptic Orthodox Church contributed, is still contributing, and will be contributing to the world. And it is our responsibility and our duty to bear witness to our mother, the Coptic Orthodox Church, to the whole world. In 2020, actually, we made a contest about your Coptic hero, and with the blessing and approval of His Holiness Pope Tawadros II, all the dioceses in the Coptic Orthodox Church participated in this contest from Egypt, from America, and from other countries. In 2021, this year, Canada actually started celebrating the Coptic Heritage Week and linked this week with the Global Coptic Day. We are planning now for 2022 how to celebrate this day in a way that befits the greatness of our Mother church, the Coptic Orthodox Church. And we are thinking about a contest about Coptic icon. We will announce it very soon. In the southern diocese here in America, Coptic Orthodox Diocese of the Southern United States, we are preparing now a committee from all the churches in the southern diocese to prepare for this celebration next year in order actually to bear witness to the Coptic heritage and all what the Coptic Church is offering to the world. And I hope that all of us, we participate in celebrating this day and preparing from now for this big celebration. It is our duty and our responsibility toward our Mother Church to bear witness for her. And I hope that with the blessing of His Holiness Pope Tawadros, all the dioceses and all the churches will participate in the contest of the Coptic icon and the other ideas that we will share with you very soon. May the Lord bless this celebration for the glory of His holy name, and also that the world may know our Coptic fathers and our Coptic Church and enjoy the richness of the Coptic spirituality. May the Lord bless this effort through the prayers and intercession of Saint Mary, Mother of God, Saint Mark the Evangelist, and also through the prayers and blessing of our beloved Father, His Holiness Pope Tawadros II, and glory be to God forever and ever. Amen.
So from there, the steps. Do you, we're
You want more steps?
Yes, we want to hear all the details.
You created a day.
Yes. Right.
Okay, so
Not just any day.
not just
That
that.
That day.
That day. Okay. So really, for the first year, it kind of fed itself, because as soon as we mentioned something or posted something, people just jumped right on it. Wait, what is this? What is this? Because it was new. No one had ever heard of anything like this.
Sure.
And so we had, the steps, talk about the steps. We wanted to engage the media. Well, I did a press release, because through knowing my lawyer, actually, I called it Love Your Lawyer Day.
Oh, I love that.
Well,
Love Your Lawyer
not
Day.
everyone loves it, but I knew through Love Your Lawyer Day, engaging the media would be huge, because if they picked up on it, everyone would pick up on it. And that's what happened. So I did a press release for Global Coptic Day, and I started getting calls from the media, members of the media, Egyptian, American, British, Ethiopian.
Wow.
And I'm Sayyidina. I call him Yusuf. What's Sayyidina? You have to help. No. You handle it. I mean, you know how busy Amba Yusuf is.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to stop for every single media call. It wasn't practical for him. So through his love and humility, he's like, no. You handle it. So we were getting calls left and right, and of course, more people get to know about it. More people hear about the Coptic Church. More people have questions. That's the goal. So what is the goal of Global Coptic Day? It's to let people know about the beauty and the glory of our church and want to know more. And to educate. That's really what it comes down to. Global Coptic Day is about putting the glories of this church out in the public and letting them see what it's all about. As it says, taste and see how beautiful it is. And really, that's what it was about. And so that was year one, and then year two, churches got involved. They saw they didn't have time to prepare in year one, because we had just gotten the approval from His Grace and His Holiness, and basically a few months later, June 1, churches didn't really have time to absorb it and think about it and prepare. So year two, we had a lot more churches involved. They're wearing the red T-shirts, as you were all wearing.
right. Yep.
They were,
The
represent.
That's right.
I feel very proud to
represented.
wear this
Represent.
today.
Thank you, by the way.
Oh, you're
Thank
so
you so
Thank you.
much. And that was one of the things that His Grace Mbe Yusuf had said. Well, you know, a red T-shirt symbolizes the blood of the martyrs that grew our church and that keeps us steadfast. So that's why we wear the red. But year two, we had churches with balloons and releasing balloons, red balloons,
Wow.
red T-shirts. They made up hymns for Global Coptic Day.
And was there
this
the
is-
video too? There was a video for the saints.
Yes. Yeah, that was, we did an event, an activity called My Coptic Hero
Yes.
for Global Coptic Day. And then it was a contest. And basically asking people to do videos of their, you know, their favorite Coptic saint, a martyr, things like that. And people, we had hundreds, literally hundreds of videos sent to us, you know, for this
contest.
contest. But it was still
It's a
through
very good
Global
idea. I
Coptic
love
Day.
it. I love the idea. Yeah.
But you know, we've posted a good deal of stuff on our social media, but it's not all of it because there was just so much, and we couldn't get to everything. We asked people, post on your social media and tag people and let them know. So it's just really snowballed, and a lot of it has been just on its own.
Well, I just find it so amazing because, you know, I feel like the Copt voice is usually low. You know, like it's a quieter voice. You know, we may
Yes.
not be the ones who are in the spotlight or the ones talking constantly, and so it's nice that in such a amazing way we're able to create, you know, help create this day to bring awareness to the Coptic Church. For the longest time, I would just say like, the Coptic Church, it's like the Greek Church,
Yeah,
but Egyptian,
exactly.
you know.
But Egyptian.
So
Yep.
it's like, but to really, I mean, there's so many actual differences.
Of course.
And you know, to bring awareness is amazing, and excitement. Like I remember the day that they announced it in the church. Like I remember
do?
that day. Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah.
So it's like super memorable for us, and it's even going to be better for like our children and our children's children.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
His Grace Mbe Yusuf had talked about a story on Global Coptic Day that he went and visited. You might have heard that story.
Yes, I did.
Susan.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't.
a great
I'd love to
story.
hear it.
Yeah.
Well, you tell it then.
Well, he actually had visited me Global Coptic Day this year, so I got the blessing of His Grace to visit me. But he said the visit before was he met with a family that it was one Egyptian parent and one non-Coptic parent, so one American, and their son or daughter, I don't remember which, was wearing a red shirt, and so His Grace commented on the shirt and said, "I really like your shirt," and the mother said, the non-Egyptian parent is the mother said, "Oh, we're wearing it because of Global Coptic Day," and so His Grace was
Wow.
so happy, and he just brought joy to his heart that a non-Egyptian or non-Coptic person, you know, put effort into, you know, implementing or getting a shirt for their
Getting a
child
red
to,
shirt, yeah.
you know, to share the joy and share the excitement for Global Coptic Day. So it was a very sweet story, you know, and so hopefully, you know, all of the children on Global Coptic Day will wear red shirts and participate in this awesome event. So
And again, that's really the objective,
Yeah.
was to, you know,
absolutely.
create awareness.
I feel like it's a beautiful thing because like mostly you celebrate an accomplishment. Like I celebrate a career day, like a lawyer day, a pharmacist day, a nurse day, a nurse week,
Right.
and so on and on. I feel like this one is so special because you're celebrating something you did not accomplish yourself. It's something about the church and what the church has accomplished. And it's like evangelizing
true.
to everybody. I think we all need that shirt.
I know.
God
It's
willing,
beautiful,
we'll,
such a beautiful,
we'll find a way to get everyone wearing the T-shirt. And I have a feeling this year there's going to be a lot more fireworks and activities. So.
So tell us about
Yeah.
that.
We'll see. You'll have to tune in.
Can you give us a hint?
It's a cliffhanger.
Maybe we'll push
That's
into instead of
amazing.
Global Coptic Day, Global Coptic Week.
No.
Yeah, the year, right?
The year.
He's like, I'm tired, guys.
We have. Hopefully, it will be. It will involve a lot more things. Let's just.
Great.
What have you been
That's great.
so proud of during this, like, how many years now? 3 years?
The third year in
Third
June.
year.
Honestly, God's hand in God's doing this and just watching God's will manifest. Honestly, that is what I'm most proud, because we hear it all the time, but yet when you're there and you experience it and you see it, and it has nothing to do with you. It's like you are just a player in the game without even doing anything. That's, I think, glory to God for that. Very, very proud of that.
Well, thank you
is,
so much
yeah,
for
it's-
being with us
No,
today.
thank you.
and
Thank you for the invite.
Definitely, I remember, like I said, hearing about it, but hearing the details behind it are
Yeah.
just amazing, and we can all really hear God's hand, like you said, through the whole process. Thank you for traveling and being with us today.
it's
Appreciate
my
it. Hopefully,
pleasure.
we'll have you again on another episode.
My pleasure, anytime.
Thank you so much.
Again, thank you so much for being with us today and for starting Global Coptic Day. We are. This is so exciting. I think we could talk about this all day, and and you know what has happened and everything. So thank you again for being
Thank
with
you
us.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the
Thank you for
invite.
your
I
time.
really enjoyed the
Fantastic.
conversation.
Oh,
So
Thank
did
you for all
we.
the
Yeah.
stories
It
to
was
see God's
Excited to
hand.
see what's
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We're very excited to see what's coming. And if you have any suggestions about how you can make Global Coptic Day even better, or how you want to implement any new ideas in your church or your community, please feel free to contact Global Coptic Day on Facebook. There's also a website, globalcopticday.org, right?
Yes.
So for those of you that love social media, hashtag Global Coptic Day.
Yes.
You can find definitely a page there to contact the team and give your ideas. So again, thank you so much, and hope to see you again soon on the Grapevine.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.